turn around right where you're at. Just turn around right there. I'm gonna get a picture of you guys. All right, so we are in the neighborhood called Noah, and many of the young people back in the day, 1992, 93, 94, they got saved from this neighborhood. And then there was a pathway up here in the forest that went over the hill and to Joshua Church. And we're gonna go to Joshua Church on the other side of this hill driving, but basically a lot of these pathways would lead to the other side of the hill. This was one of them, and it would go up and over the hill and you'd get to Joshua House from the neighborhood of Noah. So there's Joshua House, that first building right there, the first one, and followed up by all of those other ones where the campus high school kids used to live and learn how to work in the factory. That's the first soccer game I ever played right here on this little field. Got hit in the face with a frozen soccer ball thanks to Dan Petrian. Thank you, Dan. Striking that thing right into my face. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the street of Joshua House. This is where it was all started. There's where I got married, right there on that little lawn right there. Oh, wow. Right here. 30 years ago this year. Right here. So this was Joshua House right here, and Richard Brooks rented this building from the high school people over here, and this is before the revolution, before communism fell. All students lived in all of these campuses, and then they were trained in the high school and trained to work in the factory. And so when I came in July of 1991, this is where Richard Brooks had us our team. Sorry, I'm a little bit emotional because it's so impactful for me to see this building here. We had so many teams come from Youth with a Mission, from Keith Green Ministries in Tyler, Texas. And it was just teenagers everywhere, Americans that came to help us in the first couple of years, 1991, 1992. And when I moved back to Romania after being in the Youth with a Mission teams, it was December 13th, 1991. And Richard Brooks, Pastor Brooks, had us stay in this building. And I lived in this building from 1991 to 1994. And that was my room right up there. And that little one right there, that's where I lived from 1991, 1992, 1993. And then I moved down to a bottom one on the other side in 1994. This building housed a discipleship house. There was young girls and young guys that lived here, and nothing hokey pokey happened. It was a pure revival spirit in this place. This is the place where I would say God really got a hold of my heart and took me from a little boy to a mature person, and began to take away the undisciplinedness, all the bad stuff. Began to put in all the good stuff and make me into a disciple and something that God would be able to use. I was married at this church, and so many people were saved at this church. So many people were discipled. It was also a house for around 50 to 100,000 New Testaments, Christian literature, sometimes tons and tons of food from Switzerland, from Germany, that were donated. We would take it in buses and take it in our cars and spread it out throughout the whole city. The discipleship house also was able to use a lot of this food and clothes through the years. And it was truly like a promised land. It was truly like, flowing with little milk and honey, as we would say. There'd be like, one time we received like 2 or 3 tons of honey. And so the boys were all eating honey all day, and all of the handles in the doorknobs and everything were like sticky with honey. Man, there's so many things I can say, but one of the things I want to do is so one of the stories in my book was when Richard Brooks made me, it was my turn to take care of the building, because many people, Romanians, gypsies, not just gypsies, but Romanians would come and they tried to break in because they knew there was food, literature here. They knew there were Americans that were living here. And so we would do these tours. And so mine was the night tour. And I was on the other side, just right on the other side of this door. Of course, it was a different door, wood, glass. I was on the other side, and Richard Brooks, it wasn't really that the thieves were going to steal the clothes, or it was that they were going to break the windows. And windows at that time were very hard to replace. So picture me, I'm standing on the other side of that door. I'm like seriously afraid. I'd only been in Romania for like a month. I don't know the language. And that day I was trying to, what do I say? How do I say, who are you? How do I say my name? How do I, and so something caught in my brain, and I thought that when I said, who are you? I was actually saying, who am I? And so the adrenaline, it was freezing. It was January 1992. And there was probably this much snow on the ground and ice in various places. So all of a sudden I see two gypsies. They're coming from like in this area, and they're walking across, and I'm looking out the door and I'm going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to say if they break a window? I don't know what Pastor Brooks is going to say. So I shot out of the door. Well, I grabbed a pipe, but it was this big old long pipe. Like, I grabbed it and I beelined, and I met them. So I'm running over here. I'm swinging this thing. I'm going, and I was saying, China's son, but I was saying, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And so right about here, they're standing like right here, and one guy's got a bat, and he's just looking at me. And I'm standing right here, and I'm swinging this thing. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? For like 10 minutes. Who am I? I was like crazy, right? Well, back in the day, I had long hair, long blonde hair that was coming down, and I had a bandana like this. I had a bandana just like this that was holding my hair in. Well, my hair had slipped down like this, right? I got like shorts and long johns coming through my shorts, Birkenstock sandals in the wintertime, and I'm screaming, who am I? Who am I? These guys are just looking at me. One of them is going like this, like, which means like you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, what are you yelling and you look like a woman, and it was an absolutely crazy scene. And anyway, it worked because they never came back and probably thought I was crazy. And anyway, this is the place right here where that all took place. I mean, so much discipleship, and so many vision was given, and in the future churches would be planted. And today, Pastor Russo is leading this church, doing an excellent job. He's been leading this church since 2001. Many churches have been planted, international churches beyond Romanian borders. And I'm just so grateful to have had a part in what God was doing. I just had a part. I just played my part and did the best that I could possibly do. And God changed my life and used my life. And I'm so grateful to the Romanian people, especially the ones that were with me in this whole process of my discipleship, and for their patience and for their love that they showed me then and that they show me now. And I love Romania, and this is the city where it started, in Brasov. So I hope that this little tour maybe sheds some light on what God did. Thank you. In the very beginning, before the church was even started here at Joshua Church, I want to say January, February, March, April, Pastor Brooks had cars that he had bought from various places outside of Romania, and he had mechanics that would work on them, and that's how he kind of made a living, is he would fix up these cars and sell them. Some of them he would keep and use them for the teams that were coming, but they were all parked in here, along with his two German Shepherds, Sandy and Kelly or something like that. And every day we'd have to literally push the cars out and then push the cars back in because a lot of them didn't work. There was a time we had church in the baraka, is what we called it. I can't remember how many months we had church in here. Over here in this area is where the pathway would come down from the neighborhood that we were just in Noah. And many of the young people would come over the hill and come to church. And through the years, that's how they would get back to their neighborhood, is just walking right through the. And sometimes there's bears back in there. There are bears back in there, and some of them even actually confronted. They had met the bears and had to run or had to yell or get the bears away. And so this is all where it happened. And yeah, amazing. Going down backwards. And the crazy thing is there was ruts on the street from the snow, from people's tires. So it was like a track, and I couldn't get out of it even if I wanted to. So I slid all the way down, and I was so scared because right up here the road turns and there's a telephone pole, and I thought for sure I was gonna hit it. See that one at the bottom where it says 30? My car was going, I was looking in the rearview mirror, and it was going straight for that pole. I was gonna slam into it, but the ruts kept me on the track like this. It was crazy.
Were there people in front of you?
No, dude, I was the only car on the road. People were walking up and down the sidewalk. One lady was making the sign of the cross for me. The very first place that me and Roxanne lived, right up here in the city center. So, see that ASCO right there on the right where it says ASCO? I worked there for 3 months.
What's it do?
It's translation office, so they translate documents in different languages. Okay, so coming up on my house right here, it's the gray one. I lived in that house with Roxanne on the top floor. That was my bathroom up there for a year before they raised the rent on us. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna go down into the main center. See how I fell in love with this city?
Yeah.
It's a black church, 1500s. We'll have a day. We'll have a few hours where we can walk around this whole area. So this square coming up is the very first evangelism spot. Before I moved, 6 months before I moved to Romania, our youth with the mission team did it right here.
Oh, wow.
Right in this square. It's called Piața Sfatului. And see up on that hill up there where the flag is, that little castle looking place? That is where we had our marriage reception. That's where we partied.
Like a Dracula tour or something.
I did a Bible study for 2 years up in this green house right here on the first floor. It's called Alunga. had another Bible study for university age students on this street, Stradalunga. That was like really my days where God was preparing me, how to talk to people, how to minister, how to find subjects to talk about. All those different Bible study places that I was involved in. All right, where are we, Corey?
We're in Braun.
Braun, and what's in Braun?
Dracula's castle.
No. Yeah. And you have to follow them everywhere and stop everywhere. You can have your own. Here it is. Dracula's castle. All right, now slowly turn around. Whoa. You guys are already turning into vampires.
Going up to get our blood sucked.
Alright, so this is the Kodlia, the place where the church was started and where the church was held for, I want to say, a couple of years. It's right where this little bar is, right where that lady is down there in that gate, right in there. This was the cultural house. We had many evangelistic meetings in here, concerts from teams from England and Holland throughout the years. Many people were saved in this little village right here called Kodlia. Now we're going to go on to Kodlia Nord. We're here in Kodlia, and back in 1993, I want to say, 92, 93, a group of guys from Joshua Church came out here and began to evangelize, and people started getting saved, and so we started a Bible study out here. I had a Bible study about 2 streets from here for at least a year and a half or so. Came out every Thursday. We started praying out here, all the guys that started getting saved, and we'd walk up this pathway right up here in the summertime and pray at the top of the hill. In the wintertime, we met in one of these apartments, but now you can see all these apartments over here. This is called Kodlia Nord, and in each one of these apartments, when you'd walk into the stairwell, there'd be mosquitoes. Like the body of the mosquito is like literally the stomach was like the size of filled with blood, and they would just come at me like as I'm running to this guy's apartment to have a Bible study. It's just everywhere, you know. Yeah, so From my understanding, the wall was built after 1100, so between 1100 and 1400. That was my understanding from a long time ago.
They have a better wall than we do.
Do you think I want to film the elevator?
Yeah.
All right, man. Who are you?
I'm Andre from Romania, and I got saved in 1998. And it was all due to my dear friend John Dumas, of course. Of course to God, but you played a big role.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
400 kilos. 5 people. We are 5.
Okay, guys. Relax. I'll come up. 5.
Hello, my name is Andre. I got saved in 1998. I want to tell you that John Dumas was following up on my brother Shoni in 1998. So he brought some invitations which he left on a refrigerator. I found those invitations and I saw that it was a free concert. I took the invitation and went to that concert. It was a free concert and I had no idea that it was a Christian concert. So I went in there, it was everything in English. And at some point somebody started preaching the gospel on the stage. And I heard the gospel really for the first time in my life like that. And it got me thinking, but I didn't give my life to Jesus right in that moment. It took a few months until I struggled with my own decision to come to Christ or not. And after maybe 4 months of struggling, I came back to another concert and I gave my life to Jesus. Now, how many years are?
27.
27 years. And I want to tell you that my brother Shoni passed away. He got cancer. He died last year. And I prayed with him. So I want to tell you that John's ministry here in Romania was incredibly successful. If you think about it, my wife would not have a beautiful husband like me, right? Without John. Yeah. Then we have Christy Daria, and Bianca would not have such a beautiful husband without John, because he got saved.
It's true.
He was in our gang. And then we have Garci there, who also was in our gang in 1998. And we also have another guy who's not here tonight, Chiri. But we all were in the same gang, and we are still saved today after 27 years, which is a great miracle. So if you see this, I just want to tell you that God really exists, and if it was just a story, just, I don't know, a feeling, we would not be here after 27 years. But there is something true, and God is real, and He seeks you and He loves you. Amen. That's it.
Awesome, man. Great testimony. Powerful.
Bună, numele meu este Cristi, cum a zis și Andre, prietenul și fratele meu din biserică. Fost mântuiți cam în același timp.
Hi, I'm Christy, and just like Andre said, we got saved pretty much in the same time.
El era în clasă cu un foarte bun prieten de-al meu, care eu eram cu el în bloc, Kalman.
Andre was in the same class with another friend of mine, Kalman.
Și, ce pot să zic, eu eram un om foarte acum, deci nu e pregătit, ce zicem e doar ce ne iese pe gură, din minte și din inima noastră.
So this testimony is not something that I was prepared for. I'm just saying it spontaneously.
Da, mi-amintesc acum că eram un om foarte religios.
As I can remember, I was a very religious guy.
Credeam în religia mea ortodoxă, icoane, idoli și toate lucrurile care acum, ca și creștini, știm că nu sunt bune.
I was into orthodoxy, praying at the saints, praying at icons.
Da, și acum îmi vine imaginea astea în minte, că atât de înverșunat, atât de religios eram, că tot ceea ce John Dumas făcea cu Endre, Calma și cu alții, încă alți doi băieți, le explica despre Dumnezeu și ce înseamnă creștinismul, eu veneam pe partea cealaltă cu îndoielile și cu religia și de ce nu avem icoane, de ce nu facem cruce.
So, as I can remember, I was very stubborn type of religious guy. So everything that John tried to put and build into Andre and Kalman, I was destroying. I was trying to destroy by putting doubt and saying, why is this like that? Why is that like that? How can you be sure that this is the truth? Stuff like that.
Da, și mi-amintesc că imaginea asta comică la John Dumas acasă, atât de frustrat a fost John că mi-a zis doar du-te, ieși pe ușă, îi pleacă, ieși afară că nu înțelegi nimic, nu prinzi. El încerca să mă explice Evanghelia și ce zice Biblia și de ce nu facem ceea ce nu facem și de ce facem ceea ce facem.
There was this one time I was in John's house and I was contradicting him so much that John got frustrated with me and said, just leave, go out from my home, let's, go away.
Da, dar nu am plecat, că eu căutam într-un fel, într-un sens, eu căutam răspunsuri, aveam întrebările care le aveam și căutam cumva pe Dumnezeu și vreau să mi explice cineva lucrurile.
But I didn't go away. Actually, all of my contradictions and discussions were because I really wanted to understand the truth. So I was questioning everything, but in my mind, inside, I really wanted to understand what the truth really was.
Da, deci totul a fost bine, John nu m-a abandonat, stați liniștiți, uitați-mă, sunt aici.
So relax, John did not abandon me. I am still here after 27 years.
Dar am spus aceste lucruri ca să înțelegeți ce muncă a trebuit să depună cu astfel de oameni ca mine, ca Endre, fiecare om diferit, fiecare om cu alte întrebări, cu un alt trecut.
But I just wanted to share these facts just so that you can understand what a tremendous work had to be for John to do so I can get saved, so I can understand stuff. Because I was different, Andrew was different, Garci was different, Kalman was different, and each one of us came with our own set of questions, right? And he had to deal with us differently.
Da, astăzi sunt căsătorit, am 3 copii, am soție, bineînțeles, cu 3 copii.
Today I am married, I have 3 children.
Sunt binecuvântat, sunt în biserică și pot să leg toată viața mea și tot trecutul meu îi se datorează lui John, care a investit din timpul lui. Poate nu o să înțelegeți și o să râdeți acum, o să vă explice el, a investit din șosetele lui. De fiecare dată mergeam acasă și ne dădea la fiecare șosete.
So now I am very blessed. I have a good family. I'm going to church all the time. I have a rich life, and I want to tell you that John invested in us a lot. He invested socks into us. He had to give us socks because our socks stink, we're stinky. And that was an investment.
Cam asta era viața noastră. Nu aveam bani nici de șosete
Back then we were so poor that we didn't have money for socks.
Iar John Dumas mereu își deschidea casa la 4-5 băieți deodată care erau înfometați.
And John was always opening his home for us, like 4-5 guys who would come to his home, and we were always hungry, and he would open his fridge and feed us.
Și vreau să mulțumesc și numele soției și a copiilor mei.
So I want to also thank in the name of my children and my wife.
Să-i mulțumesc familiei lui John, prietenilor celor care l-au susținut și s-au rugat pentru el ca să ajungă aici în România.
I want to thank John's family and the friends who sustained him during that period while he was preaching the gospel here in Romania.
Financiară sau prin rugăciune și post.
If they sustained him financially or through prayer,
Vă
I want to
mulțumesc,
thank all of them.
vă mulțumim și vă iubim. Noi aici în România, Brașov.
We thank you and we love you here in Brasov, Romania. Hello, I am Ovidiu.
Am fost mântuit acum 29 de ani,
I got saved 29 years
în
ago
1996,
in 1996.
și nu am făcut parte din gașca lor, a lui John Dumas și Andre, Cristi, Garci.
I was not part of that gang, John's gang with Andre and Garci and
Dar
Cristi.
bineînțeles că John Dumas a avut un impact peste toți din biserica noastră.
But John Dumas had an impact on all of us in the Brasov church.
Nu există om în biserica din Brașov să nu zică că John Dumas n-a avut un impact asupra vieții lui.
There's no one who says that John didn't have an impact over him.
Eu am
or
venit
her.
în biserică în 96,
So I came in the church in 1996.
am provenit dintr-o familie pe de o parte foarte religioasă,
I came from a family that was partly very religious,
dar în același timp tatăl meu era foarte violent, avea probleme cu alcoolul,
but in the same time my father was an alcoholic and he was very violent.
multe probleme în familie.
We had a lot of problems in the family.
Am crescut în toate aceste tulburări ale familiei, bătăi, scandaluri și așa mai departe.
I grew up in this environment, very dangerous and violent environment.
Și în inima mea am devenit mic în ochii mei, să zic așa, și foarte speriat.
So in my mind I was thinking very little about myself.
Plin de frică,
I was very scared.
cu îndoială față de mine.
I had doubts about myself.
Am crescut foarte timid la un moment dat,
I was very timid,
foarte retras.
very like staying alone all the time.
În urma divorțului, că până la urmă mama mea a divorțat, toate aceste lucruri s-au întâmplat.
My parents got divorced.
Și în 96 cineva mi-a predicat Evanghelia pe stradă.
So in 1996 somebody came on the street and preached to me the gospel.
Și atunci am putut simți dragostea lui Dumnezeu.
And that was the first time that I felt God's love.
Am simțit că cineva mă acceptă și și ține la mine cu adevărat.
I felt like somebody cares about me, somebody loves me really.
Am putut să văd în biserică foarte mulți oameni prietenoși și plini de bucurie.
In the church I met a lot of friendly people who were happy.
Printre care era și pastorul John Dumas.
And among those people was also John Dumas,
Care, bineînțeles, a avut grijă de noi toți.
who took care of all of us.
În diferite moduri, la un moment dat și un frate de-al meu a fost în biserică.
At some point, even a brother of mine was in the church,
Și John Dumas a făcut follow-up cu el.
and John Dumas followed up on him too.
Bineînțeles, în timp ce părinții mei erau împotriva bisericii și așa mai departe, pastorul John Dumas a venit la mine acasă și a stat de vorbă cu ei.
During all this time, my parents were against the church, against this Christianity. So John Dumas came to my home and talked to my parents.
Mama mea îl ura pe pastorul John.
My mother hated John Dumas.
Și din cauza că era american.
Also because he was American.
Și pe el și pe pastorul Brooks.
He hated both John Dumas and Pastor Brooks.
Dar astăzi este mândră de mine.
But today she's proud of me.
Și e bucuroasă că sunt în biserică.
And she's happy that I am in the church.
De asemenea, soția mea a fost mântuită în biserica pastorului John din București.
Also, my wife got saved in Bucharest in John Dumas's church.
Și pastorul John Dumas ne-a căsătorit.
And Pastor John Dumas got us married together.
Deci, pastorul John Dumas a avut un impact peste noi toți.
So,
Din cauza lui, astăzi am o soție.
So John Dumas had a big impact on all of us, and because of him, today I have a wife.
Deci, multe legături în toată țara.
So there are many connections with him in all of the country.
Mulțumesc, Pastor John, și mulțumesc celor care l-au susținut și l-au trimis în România.
Thank you, Pastor John, and I say thank you to all of those who sustained him and gave him money, sent him money and prayers during all that time.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Salut, mă numesc Garsi.
Hello, my name is Garci.
Vreau să vă zic câteva cuvinte despre viața mea.
I want to say a few words about my life.
Am crescut într-o familie normală, pot să zic, de România,
I grew up in a normal family here in Romania
cu mult alcool și foarte puține finanțe.
with a lot of alcohol and few finances.
Suntem 3 frați și o soră, adică
We
3
are-
băieți și o soră.
3 brothers and 1 sister.
Eu m-am născut cu o dificultate de vorbire.
I was born with a difficulty
Eram
to
bâlbâit.
talk. I was stutter,
Din cauza asta m-am închis foarte mult în mine.
and because of that I was not really talking to people.
Am încercat să-mi găsesc plăcerea în sport. Am făcut fotbal la un club.
I tried to find my pleasures in sports.
Fotbal.
So I did soccer.
Mulți ani de zile nu am vorbit niciun cuvânt, nici la școală,
For many years I did not say a word, even at
din
school,
cauza că oamenii făceau mișto de mine.
because people were making fun of me.
Dar a fost o zi la 17 ani, în 1999, când cineva mi-a vorbit despre Dumnezeu.
At 17 years of age, in 1999, somebody came to me.
George.
Yeah, his name was George, and witnessed to me the gospel.
Mi-a spus că Dumnezeu poate să vindece boala pe care eu o aveam și să fiu mântuit.
And George told me that I could be delivered of this stutterness and also get saved.
Am fost la o cruciadă de vindecare în cinemaul Astra cu pastorul Greg Mitchell.
So I've been at a healing crusade with Pastor Greg Mitchell at Cinema Astra here in Brasov.
Țin minte și acum, atunci am fost mântuit, a fost o chemare la altar.
I can still remember how I got saved there. It was an altar call.
Și tot în acea seară a fost o seară de vindecare.
Also in that night, in those series of nights, there was a healing
Crusade.
healing crusade.
Unde m-am rugat ca Dumnezeu să îmi dea vorbirea înapoi sau să pot să vorbesc, să predic Evanghelia oamenilor.
So in that night, I prayed to God, and I prayed that I would recover my ability to talk, so I can preach the gospel to others.
Eram atât de bâlbâit încât nu puteam să leg două cuvinte, nici măcar să cer o pâine la magazin.
Back then, I was so stuttery that if I would go to buy a bread, I would stutter. I would ask a bread, and I would stutter.
Din acea seară Dumnezeu m-a vindecat.
But since that night, God healed me.
Pentru mine a fost un miracol foarte mare.
For me, that was a very big miracle.
Nu-l înțeleg nici astăzi, dar ceea ce pot să spun e că pot vorbi cursiv, pot să zic orice lucru sau pot să comunic cu orice persoană.
I don't understand how this miracle happened, but I simply can talk now. I can say what I want to say.
Ceea ce m-a făcut pe mine să rămân credincios și să rămân alături de Dumnezeu
What helped me remain faithful to God and to remain close to God
a fost persoanele pe care eu le-am găsit în biserică cu bucuria lor și cu credincioșia lor față de Dumnezeu.
were the people that I met in the church, people who were happy to serve God and who had a joy in their own lives.
În momentul în care eu am fost mântuit,
So in the moment when I got saved,
n-am putut să înțeleg ideea asta că trebuie să merg la biserică de 3 ori pe săptămână și toată viața mea. Atunci nu puteam să o înțeleg. Am zis, bă, cum?
first time when I got saved, I could not understand this idea that now I am saved and I will have to go to church for all of my life 3 times a week.
Dar astăzi sunt aici din cauza asta că mergând la biserică am putut să fiu zidit și să aud cuvântul lui Dumnezeu.
But I am here today after all of these years because I got saved and because God did a work in my life.
Oamenii care mi-au fost aproape în viața mea, John, Cristi, Darie, Endre, știu, au petrecut foarte mult timp cu mine la basket, zile întregi până seara la 12 noaptea jucam basket, vecinii ziceau opriți-vă, plecați acasă că se auzea un ecou atât de mare.
People who invested in me like John and Andre and others, they had to come and play basketball with me for many hours until the night, very late in the night.
Ce pot să zic e că îi mulțumesc lui Dumnezeu pentru aceste persoane.
And I want to thank God and I want to thank these people who invested in me.
Și datorită că am rămas credincios în biserică, am putut să-mi fac o familie.
And because I remained faithful in the church, I was able to have a family and have my own children, my own wife.
Care este pentru mine un mare miracol din cauza la stilul meu de viață foarte retras. Nu am crezut niciodată că voi putea să fiu căsătorit, să fiu un tată, un soț.
Which is a miracle in itself because as I was in the past very lonely type of person, I never thought I could be married to somebody and have my own children.
Și îi mulțumesc lui Dumnezeu pentru miracolul pe care El le-a făcut în viața mea.
So I want to thank God for all the miracles He did in my own life.
Pentru soția mea, copiii mei.
For my wife, for my children.
Și pe această cale vreau să-i mulțumesc lui John.
And through this video I want to also thank John.
Pentru că și-a dat timpul lui,
because
viața lui.
He gave his time, he gave his life.
Și că Dumnezeu l-a folosit pentru ca alți oameni să fie mântuiți și să fie salvați la iad.
And God used him for others to get saved and not go to hell.
A fost și este o mare binecuvântare pentru noi.
He is and he was and he will always be a great blessing for us.
Mulțumim.
We thank you.